Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio, and welcome to Check Please, the show where regular people from all over Chicago recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how the show works. Every week, we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and the other 2 go check them out and tell us what they think. This week, Outreach Coordinator Carlos Morales says that you should gather up your friends and follow him to the South Side for tasty tacos, gorditas, and the most authentic Mexican food in town. But theater critic Michael Roberts says that if you want to try a place that deserves a standing ovation for its farm-to-table freshness and outstanding service, join him at his selection. Up first, insurance broker Jennifer Morrill claims that her recommendation is second to none. She says that when she wants the most creative sushi in town, she knows exactly where to go. She heads on over to Ukrainian Village to watch the Visconti brothers work wonders at Kaizen.
When people walk into Kaizen, they would expect great food, fresh, great service. Yeah. People have more food knowledge nowadays. There's more competition, there's more restaurants, so pretty much you have to be more creative. Yeah.
A little bit different from other sushi restaurants.
A lot of creativity. We work
Pretty much side by side. Yeah, we work together, we're both in the bar, and I'll jump in sometimes in the kitchen if it needs it, but he does most of the sashimi, I'll do the rolls.
Every time we get out of here, we're so dead tired, but knowing that customer, 99%, I don't know, but leaves here happy. It feels great.
We put everything into it, every little detail. It's a part of us, and then we get to do it all over again.
Jennifer, you say every bite is fantastic at Kaizen. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, first, any sushi lover knows that the most important thing at any sushi restaurant is the fish. And every bite from everything on the menu we've tried multiple times going has always been fresh and delicious. It's presented beautifully, they're creative flavors, and it's unexpected, and it's just very well balanced. Not to mention the atmosphere is very comfortable, kind of a trendy Asian fishing town, if you will. So it's lovely.
So would you say it's traditional sushi?
You can get traditional sushi there, and it's phenomenal, but you can also try unique mixtures, unique ways that they maybe fire or put a little bit something on the fish so it gives it a little more flavor, but the flavor of the fish is always predominant.
Michael, I saw you shaking your head. Yes, it's different, it's creative.
Jennifer, you've changed my world with this one. We sat in a private booth, they have private booths, and we each did the chef's tasting. And 12 courses, very reasonably priced, and each presentation outdid the other. By the time we got to the 11th course, we were like, I don't know how much more fish we can possibly eat. But everything was remarkable, and it's become one of my favorite restaurants.
I'm so happy.
Yay! Yeah. Carlos, they both got their omakase, the chef's tasting, but you kind of picked and choose what you wanted.
We did pick and choose. I actually went with my girlfriend. We kind of had a little bit of a problem when we first got there. We did make reservations, but when we showed up, sorry to say that the host kind of pounded us off to the side. And then at that point, another party showed up with about 5 or 6 people, and we were kind of all cluttered at the entrance, which was a little uncomfortable considering that there was a table right next to the entrance. But eventually when we did get sat down, I believe our waiter's name was Jonathan. He had kind of an antenna style haircut.
He was cute.
But it was the quality of the food was awesome. We had the angry crab, which was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not an avocado fan, but my girlfriend had the avocado rolls. I'm more of a spicy person, so I like the spicy tuna rolls, which were excellent. Another thing that we had that I thought was just phenomenal was the octopus rolls. It is very fresh. The only thing that we did order that I was a little disappointed with was the calamari fry. The calamari fry tasted just a little burned, but with the sauce, the dipping sauce that came with it, it made it just that much a little better.
Well, so you went with your girlfriend, but Jennifer, you went with a big group. What's the crowd like? You go there, you know, fairly often.
The crowd varies. I've seen older couples, I've seen younger couples, I've seen groups of friends.
Did you just point to me when you said older?
No, it was a, that was,
I think you need a glass of chicken wine. Well, Michael, you said you got the omakase. Did you order anything else in addition, or what was on it that night?
The angry crab, my God, it was just, and their sushimi, phenomenal. And they had, I love poppers, a lot of us do. The unagi poppers were phenomenal. Fiesta maki, tuna maki, lots of maki. They had oysters, like almost in martini glasses, little martini glasses, yes. Oh, boy.
Their shooters are phenomenal. They do a really good job with uni. I don't like uni, and we had the uni shooters and the oyster shooters. We like the uni better. Oh. It was crazy.
It's interesting some of the ingredients they're using because you don't necessarily see them all the time in traditional sushi, and it's not so much fusion like you see at some other places where it's very specific. This is just they're kind of like
the fish is still the prominent feature. Yeah. It's just it's ways to make it taste better.
Well, and they get their fish every day fresh, so they're very attentive to the quality of the fish they're bringing in, and they always taste it to make sure they're keeping that very consistent.
And the wait staff know the product back and forth, can explain it in a simple manner to people that are new to sushi or anything like that. By the time you're done, you become a sushi expert.
Well, who would you bring there?
Brad Pitt is not, you know, in the city anymore. You know, I love the booth, so I would go with like maybe three or four other people.
Melvin and Carlos, the chefs, they actually have been building things since they were young, and they actually built on this addition for larger parties, which is very nice because sushi is kind of a communal eating experience.
The one thing I found really interesting, considering it's a Japanese restaurant, was that they were playing Dusties, R&B Motown Dusties, and that's something that said, oh wow, this is different, but I grew up on that type of music, so I was, you know, I was digging it. It made the experience, it made the experience better.
Jennifer, you picked Kaizen. Sum it up for us.
Kaizen is a upbeat, trendy, fishing town themed, creative sushi joint.
Carlos?
Quality of food is awesome. It's fresh, but when I visit again, I definitely have to try other items on the menu.
And Michael?
One of the best sushi restaurants in Chicago, from the price point to the service, fantastic.
You can try the oyster shooter and more at Kaizen, 2557 West Chicago Avenue, 773-278-5776. Open for dinner every day except they're closed on Wednesdays. Alcohol is BYOB, reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person is $30. Chicago is filled with wonderful Mexican restaurants, but Carlos Morales says that nothing compares to his selection. He says for authentic, fantastic food and a friendly staff, follow him to Archer Avenue and join him at Tio Luis.
My father was in the business. He had a taco stand in Guadalajara, Jalisco. So I grew up, you know, surrounded by seeing my father and my mother making delicious food. And when I came to the United States in 1968, I always had a dream of getting into the food industry. I try to be different from others. There's more than one way to make a good salsa. I'm always searching for new ways of making things better. Well, definitely the steak tacos are the champions. Then we have the carne en su jugo, which is a traditional dish from Guadalajara, Jalisco. And our steak dinners are also popular. It makes me feel happy because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted people to talk about Tio Luis and remember Tio Luis for its great food and great service. To me, that's the most important thing.
Carlos, you say Tio Luis makes you feel like your family. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, I was born and raised on the southwest side of Chicago in the Little Village neighborhood. And it's pretty much what I call the mecca of Mexican food, especially on the south side. And this is a little bit more closer to home. I'm not gonna go ahead and say it's better than my mom's cooking because I believe my mom is the best cook ever. But being, again, raised on Mexican food just about every single day, this is really the closest thing there is to home. And the owners could be nothing short of just beautiful people. They're just the nicest people that you can meet. In my opinion, it's one of the best Mexican restaurants I've ever had.
Well, what do you think they do really well there? Like, what's your favorite thing to get there since you dine there all the time?
Well, my favorite thing are the gorditas. Everything is done by hand. The ingredients are fresh. The steak, which is key, the carne asada, is something that's always made fresh daily, and especially their carne en su jugo. Their carne en su jugo is pretty much a bacon and steak broth. Very authentic. Very, very authentic Mexican taste.
Well, Luis, the owner, he's from Mexico, and then he moved here and he met his wife, which is that he was traveling and met his wife and then stayed here and opened the restaurant so he could stay. But his family actually owned a taco stand back in Guadalajara, and so his recipes are actually based on what his parents made. So Jennifer, you went there with your boyfriend again, right?
We walked in, very comfortable, kind of traditional Mexican feel, very casual. You know, they pointed us to a table, sat down, brought us chips and salsa right away, lovely. Then they have the pickled vegetables, like what is it, the jicama and carrot and jalapeno on the table. And I think that's a lovely touch. So it was very comfortable to sit. You know, they had some lovely murals on the wall, very colorful. My struggle is to me, it was Mexican food. Right. So I don't know if it's a destination for me, but I didn't have what you said was your favorite, so now I feel like I should go back.
I went for lunch, actually. I did like the decor, I must say that. It was very homey, like you said. And like most Mexican restaurants, the first thing I wanted to do, and my friend, because I'm not the only one here, we wanted to order margarita. And the waiter said, we have water. And I said, well, great, I'll have a water back with my water margarita.
So Carlos, what is there to drink there? Let's talk about some of the offerings.
My favorite drink is, I love agua de horchata, which is a rice water. But I've recently, just in a few months, kind of like stepped over the line and I had the agua de tamarindo, which is tamarind water. The tamarind water is very refreshing. And it's great because they don't give you a small glass of it. They give you a big margarita without the margarita in a big margarita glass.
But that was not even offered to us.
Oh, okay. I'm
yes,
sorry.
And I love horchata. But we did start with the shrimp ceviche, which I love ceviche. But it was a bit warm when it came out, which I was like, well, okay. I mean, it was good. It was good. And then we got the guacamole, which it was very bland. We did the gorditas, the chorizo. Yes. See.
Jeez.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I usually get the chorizo gorditas as well.
I do have to say, their mole, one of the best I've had.
Awesome.
That's a very difficult sauce to make well.
Yes,
it takes, I mean, it's a whole day process. Yes. I mean, oftentimes, 20 plus ingredients that have been simmered all day. And a lot of times, the families have this as their family recipe.
We knew that we aren't usually in that area. And so we were like, well, we just got to order a little bit of everything, knowing we were going to take some home. I'm like, these people are going to know something is up because we ordered so much ridiculous food. So we ordered the ceviche, the empanadas, which are like a shrimp and seafood empanada, which were maybe my favorite thing on the menu. And then we had the chicken soup, the what is it? pollo, caldo.
Caldo de pollo.
Yeah, see. And then we tried one each of the tacos because there's a chicken, there's a pork and pineapple, which is my second favorite. There is a beef tripe, which I have a question about. What is tripe? Do you know? Does anyone know?
It's stomach line.
Okay, not my favorite, so I can't comment on that one. But the beef tongue, how could I forget that? Lingua. The beef tongue, the beef lingua was our favorite. It was very good. We had a lovely time, but it was kind of just a meal. I don't know that it was an experience.
You guys have to try the breakfast. Try the breakfast one of these days. I strongly recommend the chilaquiles. The chilaquiles are absolutely amazing. So,
Did your heart just skip a beat too?
It did.
Well, Carlos, you chose Tia Louise. Sum it up for us.
it's the closest thing to my mother's cooking that I have ever tasted, and I really hope that my fellow check pleasers here visit it one more time, and because I promise you the second time around it will be better.
Jennifer?
Fresh, you can tell it was prepared there, and just comfortable environment. So worth trying if you like Mexican food.
And Michael?
Very comfortable, friendly service. The flavors to me were bland, but I will definitely go back because I like to give restaurants more than one chance.
You can try the tacos and more at Tia Louise Tacos, 3856 South Archer Avenue, 773-843-0098. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person is $11. Michael Roberts is rarely at a loss for words, except perhaps when he tries some of the specialties at his favorite spot. He says for a truly elevated experience, head on over to Halstead and stop in at Wood.
I started out cooking when I was 15 in Michigan. Cooked all through high school, through college. When I moved to Chicago, I worked sous chef at Zealous Restaurant and spent a year at Alinea just before opening Wood. The philosophy that we try and instill in our cooks here is the same one that they showed me at Alinea. We cook seasonal American small plates. We source, in the summertime, 90% of our stuff locally. We try and push the envelope a little bit in terms of creativity, technique, and make everything in-house. The food that we make here is really a labor of love. We do a lot of things the hard way, the way that takes a little bit longer, costs a little bit more, it's more work. But in the end, this is what we love doing, and it's a product that we're proud of, and that we want to share with people.
Michael, you tell us there's no knock on Wood. Tell us why you love it.
It is probably the most consistent, friendly, affordable restaurant that I've been to in a very long time. The owners have become friends of mine. General Manager Franco, whose father was a cabinet maker and wood maker in Cicero back in the 40s and 50s, and so they named the restaurant Wood. Yes, it's in Boys Town, so you can figure out that kind of wood too. But yes, their chef Ashley Aubin was at Alinea and brought a couple people with him, and it's farm to table, fresh. The menu changes constantly. It's just phenomenal.
Carlos, you went there for dinner with your girlfriend, though.
We did.
So what did you think?
The Thank you so much for introducing this
You're
place.
welcome,
This
Carlos.
place was absolutely phenomenal. We chose to sit outside, and it was right up our alley. You know, all the eccentric personalities walking around. It just made the experience that much better. Our waiter was Peter. Peter was so informative and let us know so much about the menu. We went with scallops. The thing that I actually absolutely was swept away by was the tarte flambe.
Yes.
The tarte flambe is
Yes.
and we also had, again, we had a crab salad. I'm not sure, it was a soft shell crab. The soft shell crab was just absolutely amazing. We also had the slow roasted pork. That was one of the larger plates. The meat was just perfectly cooked. We weren't really sure what we were going to expect coming to the restaurant. It's completely not a neighborhood that I'm accustomed to visiting, but it was just amazing and overall just great experience. And again, thank you so much.
Well, Jennifer, so you actually got to chat with Chef Ashley.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about what
I
you
will
ate.
take over the gushing. It was my boyfriend Dave and I, and we had one of the most phenomenal dinner experiences. We started with the soft shell crab, the charcuterie plate, which is amazing. If you like pate or country pate or this pork moulade or
Oh, the pork moulade.
insane. It is insane. The highlight of the dinner was the entree. We looked at the menu and we were stuck between the walleye and the lamb. The lamb was $30, and we're like, all right, you know what? It's the most expensive item on the menu. This is going to be the pivotal entree. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful sized portion. It's got 2 falafels on it, 4 different sauces, and then underneath the lamb was a red cabbage, almost slaw, like vinegared slaw. And on top was this beautiful pre-cut piece of lamb. We took a bite of the lamb, melted in our mouth, melted. It was the best lamb dish that we believe we've ever had. Sure enough, you know, towards the end of our meal, Ashley was kind enough to come out and talk with us a few minutes. It was a wonderful experience, and it was so welcoming.
So, Michael, again, this is one of your favorite places. You know, the fact that they make homemade pasta or house-made meats and sausages. What do you really love about the food there?
The freshness. You know, like I said, so what we had might not necessarily be there, but yes, everything is fresh. I mean, they do have a great Amish chicken. I must say that's always on the menu. The Amish chicken.
The Amish chicken?
Is always
Okay.
on the menu. Yes, they do an oxtail pasta. I mean, it's just a ragu. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they have a great wine steward. You know, I'd like to drink a little wine. To that point, but they're always getting in different wines. They have 2 amazing mixologists, Gustavo and Tommy, who are so trained, and they get to experiment.
He suggested a couple drinks for us. Obviously, they all have a smoky wood flavor. My favorite was the Son of a Gun. That was an awesome drink. My girlfriend had the Redwood, and we were just completely swept away.
So, Jennifer, so you live close by. What's the name? Can you describe the neighborhood for us?
Well, the neighborhood, it's very interesting because you have the Belmont area that can be sometimes more alternative with the Red Line there and some of the stores there. You have the Halsted and Broadway area, which is traditional Boys Town. Everything's merging and convoluting, so this restaurant is really kind of a pivotal point for the neighborhood. And, you know, it's kind of showing how transitional and kind of open and accepting that area is to change, to, you know, either high-end or comfortable feels, and how actually those two merge. It's wonderful. It is a destination.
Well, I'm not a drama queen, but you're all gonna make me cry because you love the restaurant. So, well, I am a drama queen, but anyway.
Well, Michael, you chose Wood. Sum it up for us.
Well, you'll never get shafted at Wood, I'll tell you that. But for consistent, fresh, great atmosphere, great staff, everybody please go to Wood.
Jennifer?
Comfortable. Get there. Order everything on the menu. The food is balanced and amazing.
Carlos, sum it up for us.
Great service, even better food with an awesome neighborhood equals just an overall phenomenal experience. Thank you again.
You can try the seasonal dishes and more at Wood, 3335 North Halsted, 773-935-9663. Open for dinner every day and brunch on Sundays. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $40. So on this week's show, we featured Kaizen in Ukrainian Village, Wood in Lakeview, and Tia Louise in Brighton Park. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First First, we chugged on over to Chicago Avenue and stopped in at Kaizen. Jennifer recommends it for the creative flavors and fresh fish. Michael absolutely loved it and said it's become one of his favorite spots. Carlos said his experience started off shaky, but he enjoyed his meal and service. Then we stopped in at Tia Louise on Archer. Carlos recommends it for some of the best Mexican fare in town. Jennifer loved the tacos and comfortable environment. Michael thought it was a homey place, but was disappointed by the flavors. Lastly, we headed to Halstead and popped in at Wood. Michael recommends it for any occasion because Chef Ashley's creations are delicious every time. Carlos was swept away by the experience and can't wait to go back. Jennifer gushed over the phenomenal menu. We've had a wonderful time this week. I want to thank my guests, Michael Roberts, Jennifer Morrill, and Carlos Morales. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine DiOrio, and I'll see you then.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.